Okay, so I read the novel, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. It was awesome, amazing. I don't normally read that often, and I honestly couldn't put this book down. This book takes place in a town called Crestmont, where everyone knew everyone. The town was very small, so everyone knew everyone. But more specifically, this book takes place in one night. So every event that happens is basically in one night. What happens, so in the advent of the novel, Clay, one of the main characters, receives tapes, and he has no idea what these are, no idea what they have to do. So when he puts in the first tape and starts listening, and it says that these tapes are from Hannah Baker, a girl who committed suicide 2 weeks ago, he is so surprised, doesn't even know what to do. So he listens, and they say that if you, actually right here, they say that, hello boys and girls, Hannah Baker here, live and in stereo. No return engagements, no encore, and this time absolutely no request. I hope you're ready because I'm about to tell you the story of my life, more specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to the tapes, you're one of the reasons why. So Clay receives these tapes, and he's basically told, you're one of the reasons that I'm dead. And he has no idea why. So what he does is, after his confusion and thoughts, and he sits there and really thinks about what he's done, he listens to the tapes. And in that process, he cries, gets heartbroken, he feels bad for Hannah. So a boy named Tony, who Clay has worked on projects and stuff with, really helps him and comforts him and makes sure that Clay is okay. He tells him it's going to be okay, I promise. So after Clay gets this, he realizes that I can take these different lessons and with me for the rest of my life. Like, he can now realize or point out someone that seems like Hannah Baker and try to make them better and feel better, because Clay, after listening to all these, felt really guilty. He felt that he could help Hannah more, and he was too scared to even talk to her, so he was like, I should have just talked to her, I could have helped her, she could have still been alive, we could have been, like, friends. So he just feels really guilty. The whole reason why Hannah, conscientiously took time and really made these tapes to the best was because she felt that she wasn't good enough. She felt that the earth was better without her. So what she did was she made 13 different tapes, and on every single tape she wrote 13 different reasons why she's dead. And all these 13 different reasons involve 13 different people. So first of all, when the first person gets the tape, they pass it on so all 13 people can realize that they've done something wrong. And I think that the author did this and wrote about this was because he wants people to realize that, like, you need to, like, watch what you say to people, because all these people were probably not expecting to be one of the reasons why Hannah's dead. So I think his tone is really, like, a serious tone. Like, he wants people to really take this with them as they go on. The author actually said something specific. If I can find it. Okay, sorry about that. So what the author said was, even though Hannah admits that the decision to taking her life away was entirely her own, it is also important to be aware of how we treat others. So I think the author's purpose was really, like, from his tone of seriousness, he wrote this so that people watch what they say. You don't know what's going on in people's lives, so you don't want to say something and put more negativity on them that then is too much for them, and they, unfortunately, like Hannah did, commit suicide. While I was reading this, I felt that the mood was very depressing and sad. No one should feel this much pressure or hate towards them that they commit suicide. It's just a very touchy, sad thing that happens to people. So yeah, I just felt very sad and depressed towards this, but it's amazing. So don't just because it's sad, like, it's a tearjerker, and, like, that's what really makes you want to keep reading, because you just want to keep knowing what happened to Hannah. Some of the major conflicts in this novel are man versus himself, and this is Clay versus himself. He is constantly fighting whether or not to listen to the tapes or not listen to the tapes. He's fighting with himself, saying, you should have done more, you shouldn't have done more, you didn't really know her that well, but you should have got to know her well. So it's very, like, he's very, like, going back and forth with himself, and that kind of is a problem and a conflict, because throughout the novel he's just contemplating whether he did the right thing, he didn't do enough, and stuff like that. So it was just, yeah. Another conflict is man versus society, and this is Hannah versus the society. She felt that every other girl was up here and she was down here, which is unfortunate. You should never feel like that. Everyone's perfect. But she just felt she wasn't good enough for society, so she felt that if she isn't good enough, that she should just be dead because she's not like the other girls. No boys really like her. She doesn't get invited to the best parties. She isn't, like, have the most friends. So she just was really, like, fighting with herself and the society, and she just felt she wasn't good enough. Another conflict is man versus man. Hannah versus every single person in this tape. There's 13 different people, so there's 13 more conflicts of Hannah versus tape 1, Hannah versus tape 2, because all those people in there have something to deal with Hannah's suicide, so they're all basically the reason that she's now dead, so it's kind of like a conflict. The last thing is theme. There's 2 themes that I could pull out from this novel. I said the fear of knowing the truth. Clay says in this novel, in the beginning, these tapes shouldn't be here, not with me. It has to be a mistake or a terrible joke. And he's basically describing that when he gets this, and after he listens to Hannah's voice on the tapes, that he just has this fear of, I don't want to know what I did wrong. I don't know what I did. I don't want to know why she died. Like, she's dead. Like, it's sad. I feel bad, but, like, I don't want to know, because he was so scared of what happened. But now that fact that he's going to know everything, he's even more afraid, and he's just very scared, and he mainly doesn't want to know about him. He doesn't want to know what he did that he's now going to regret and argue with himself about. Another theme is the loss of friendship. Hannah didn't have much friends, so when she became friends with this one girl, Courtney, she really thought, wow, like, I have a friend for once. And then Courtney wasn't the nicest friend to her, so Hannah says, let me be clear. I do not hate you, Courtney. In fact, I don't even dislike you. But for a time, I thought you and I were becoming friends. It turns out you were just grooming me to be another tally mark under people who think Courtney Crimson is a really neat girl. Another guaranteed vote for most liked in the senior yearbook. So the loss of friendship relates to this because Hannah is finally having a friend, and now she's lost another friend. And although Courtney's only one example of friends that Hannah thought she had, and then realized that this person was just using her. And all these different friendships and reasonings led to her death, which is very sad. But I highly suggest you read this book, figure out why Hannah Baker died and all the different 13 people that are mentioned on these tapes, because it's honestly really awesome, and I love it.